Republican Congressman Kevin McCarthy now says he's open to becoming Speaker of the House again, less than a week after he was ousted from that position. Now, McCarthy initially said he would not run again for the role after last Tuesday's vote removed him from the speakership. But the California Republican told conservative radio talk show host Hugh Hewitt yesterday that, quote, whatever the conference wants, I will do. At the same time, Republican Congressman Steve Scalise of Louisiana and Jim Jordan of Ohio are announced candidates for the speakership. Joining us now to help us break it down, NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale. So, Ali, this process to elect a new speaker began last night. There was a closed-door meeting among Republicans. What details have we learned about it? Was anything accomplished?
No, but that also wasn't the point of last night's meeting. So technically speaking, we weren't expecting them to come out, put the white smoke up and say, hey, we've chosen a new speaker. That process really begins in earnest today. We're going to hear from lawmakers behind closed doors, of course, as the people who want to be speaker, at least the ones who are publicly running, make their case to their colleagues. And then Wednesday morning is the earliest point where we're going to see the internal conference vote and then try to take that to the floor. There are a lot of complications here, though. This is not going to be an easy process. Just because we lay it down on paper as if there's a schedule doesn't mean that they're going to stick to that. And quite frankly, in my conversations over the last few days, it's not clear that either Scalise or Jordan have the votes that are necessary for them to get out of the internal conference phase and then take this to the floor successfully. And oh, by the way, yesterday when I was talking to former Speaker, now just Congressman Kevin McCarthy, it was very clear that, not for nothing, this is a guy who seems like he still wants to be in the mix. He still wants maybe a shot at his old job. The idea that he's leaving the door open certainly isn't helping anyone get closer to 217. But yesterday, as I was sitting there in that press conference that McCarthy held, honestly, all it felt like he was saying was, so you're saying there's a chance. And he's right that 96% of the conference, in his words, does support him. But that was always true. And Congressman Matt Gaetz saying the obvious part on X now, saying the math is still the math. Just because you got 96% doesn't mean that the rules aren't still such that any small handful of members can stop you from getting this job again.
I'm not going to join you in calling the platform X, just FYI. So let's talk about McCarthy a little bit more. You're right. He did seem like he was leaving the door open. Long shot bid, to be sure. But as you say, Scalise is going to have trouble getting it. Jordan's going to have trouble getting it.
Yeah.
McCarthy's going to have trouble getting it. Who else stands to get it?
That's really the open question. And we went from the question being, if not McCarthy, then who? Now we have a kind of answer to that, at least in terms of who wants the job. But each of these candidates have their own problems, either within their own conference, within their own sects of the party that they're supposedly there to represent. You know, both of these guys are conservative firebrands, but in different ways. Scalise a little bit more establishment, Jordan a little bit more coming from the outside, coming towards the establishment flank in recent year or the last 2 years. But I don't really know moderates who will easily get on board, those folks who have to go home to either Biden-controlled districts or districts that are just purple and swingy, who will gleefully go back and say that they're supporting either Scalise or Jordan. There's still some really obvious problems. And so I can't count for you the number of text messages that I've gotten from lawmakers over the course of the last few days who are just saying, this is a mess. They don't know where they're going to go. And now the Israel situation complicates this even more because there is a desire to pick a speaker, show that the House can function. Just at the very least, they can put forward resolutions condemning Hamas. This is like the least that they can possibly want to do. That's nothing to say of the aid conversation, but they can't do that easily because they don't have a speaker. And it doesn't really feel like the Israel situation, despite the fact that it is urgent, is adding urgency to the House Republicans' need to pick someone to lead them.
And not having a speaker complicates the United States' ability to send money to Israel, Ukraine as well, and so much more. Let's remember, of course, the government also set to shut down in a little more than a month's time. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale, thank you as always. I'm certain we'll be speaking to you again soon.
Yeah.